This is the brand new Sony 24-70 f2.8 G Master. It's the Mark II version. It's had some updates, really good for photography and video. And today we've called in some favors to do some really cool stuff with it. Something a little bit annoying with the Mark I of this lens was that although the quality was amazing, you couldn't be super close to your subject. Minimum focusing distance was about 0.38 meters. And it actually worked out that when you were doing product shots, you had to be a little bit further away than I'd necessarily like. Now on the Mark II, at the wide end, you can be at 0.21 meters, so 21 centimeters away. And at the long end, it's just 30 centimeters. So it's really close. So I think that allows you quite a lot of flexibility. And a lot of panning tripod shots today, George.
Yeah, no, I think I'm going for a tripod aesthetic today. And no particular reason.
No, nothing's
No particular
happened.
reason. No, nothing's happened. I'm at full health. So sorry if this isn't the most dynamic video, guys. There's no handheld filming is going to be done today.
This might not be the easiest photographically. We've been let into this incredible hangar, which has been used for sort of storage and maintenance and stuff. So you can't really get around or like set up shoots or anything, but this is just really cool to see. So it's great to grab some shots either way. And it does sort of pander to the documentary type shooting you can do with a lens like this. I just want half this stuff. You could just spend a day in here, just digging stuff out and taking pictures. It'd be so good. So today we've got a location that's got this kind of like abandoned vibe. We've got a load of props to work with, lots of lights, and we've got a model coming in as well. So I think it'd be a really good test to see exactly what this 24-70 is capable of. So we've got quite a bit of Sony kit with us today. George is shooting on FX3 with the original 24-70 G Master. I've got the new 24-70 G Master Mark II at the moment on an A1. We've also got an A7R4 and another one of the original lens. So if you look at this one, the Mark I versus the Mark II, there is quite a big size difference. And I actually think that's probably one of the most important upgrades on the new model, that this is 22% lighter, so it's lost a lot of its weight. And also it is just a bit more compact, which is really nice. It does make it a lot easier to handhold, which I'm sure George wishes he had today with that broken arm. So in here, I have a big box of these like smoke grenades, smoke delivery systems they're called. So I haven't worked with these before. Really interested to see what they're gonna be like. Our model, Tom, has worked with them before. So we're gonna have a play. I've already set up the light, taken a couple of test shots just to see how the lens is performing, which is lovely, by the way, it looks great. So we're just gonna have a play with these now, see what we can get. So you have to be a bit careful with these because they do shoot out sparks, so we're just going to be a bit safe. We've got some concrete over here which is completely clear of any wood dust or anything. So we're going to start it off over there, and then we've only got 30 seconds on these micro ones. This is a yellow one, which I don't think the colour's going to work, so I'm purposely just going to use this as a test, just see how it looks with all the lighting that we've got, and then we can move on to maybe some like blues and purples, which I think might work a little bit better with the kind of shot we're going for. First test, Tom's going to set off the smoke, and then we're just going to see what happens. Probably go wrong, but give it a go. Right, let's do it. Okay, now hold it up. And look at me. Okay, now behind you, all over the place. So the smoke looked really cool, but there were certain things that didn't really work. So I think what we need to do is just darken down the background by bringing up the lights a little bit, because we're conscious of battery, we have no power here. So we're gonna bring these lights up a little bit for this shot. And what I wanna do is set off two smokes. I'm gonna set off one right behind to try and take out that background. And I'm gonna set off one at the front so we can make the most of those shots. And I'm also gonna move that wheelie bin because I didn't realize it was there. That was my bad thinking, I didn't see it. So we'll get that out of the way as well. And I think that'll make a nicer shot. And then what I'll have you do is open this one, this twin vent one, and hold it for a second. Maybe just like twirl it for me. Then run behind, stick it behind so it's going everywhere. and then we'll light that one once we've got a bit of smoke cover behind. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, enough in front of you, to the side of you, and look at me. Okay, just hold it up. Yeah, nice, nice, nice. That was much more what I wanted. A 24-70 has to be able to deal with lots of different situations, and they're not always going to just be standstill portraits. Sometimes you're going to need it to work very, very quickly. And this has been designed to be able to autofocus at an incredibly fast rate. Now inside we've got 4 XD linear autofocus motors, which just help you to get really smooth and accurate focusing, which is also very, very quiet. So if you're shooting video, shouldn't be too much of an issue. But also, this has been designed to work with 30 frames per second continuous shooting. So if you are continuously shooting at 30 frames per second with autofocus, this has been designed to work and work well with that. Now saying that, I've got this on the A1 at the moment. I'm now going to get the model to run towards me. I'm going to set it up. I don't know how the shot's going to look, but either way, it's a great test of just how well this can keep focus. Okay, so I've put it in high, and I'm just going to get you to start at the ladder and then just run towards me, if that's okay, and I'm just going to take that shot. Okay, that didn't lose focus once in terms of the green square. That was on you every step of the way. And it looks sharp the whole time. I was shooting 2.8, so when I've got these on a big screen, I'll be able to see, but yeah, they're sharp the whole time. That's really impressive. We've overfilled the barn with a bit of smoke, so we're all gonna take a breather now. We've come outside and there's some beautiful old stables that are kind of falling down a bit, some nice greenery behind, so we're just gonna get some portrait shots out here and just make the most of this lovely summer light we're getting. I'm overexposing this a bit, but to be honest, the light's just really nice. I don't mind it being overexposed, that's fine with me. We're just about to do a little image quality test because, let's be honest, G Master is the top of the range for Sony when it comes to image quality. So inside the new lens, we've got 3 extreme aspherical elements, 2 extreme aspherical extra low dispersion elements, 2 extra low dispersion elements, and 2 super extra low dispersion elements. So there is a lot going on in there to help reduce any like chromatic aberration, distortion, ghosting, flaring. It's a very clean lens. I mean, I'm looking at it on the A1, which is obviously 50 megapixels. I haven't actually felt the need to get the A7R4 out so far, and it's looking great on the screen, but honestly, I can't wait to edit these. Okay, so I've set up on a tripod now. I'm just gonna do a test shot at 2.8 and at 5.6 with the new 24-70, and then I'm gonna swap over to the old one. Now, I mean, you're gonna be watching this on a video, so I don't know how much difference you're gonna see, but we will zoom in on both. So let's start with the 2.8. Tom, stay as still as you can. Okay, now I'm gonna pop it up to 5.6. Okay, now I'm just gonna swap over to the other lens. So now we're on the original one. I mean, it still looks great, to be fair. But okay, this is a 1/320th f5.6. I'm just gonna make sure I've got that lined up with the last shot. Yeah, that's basically perfect. Okay, and then I'm gonna pop this down to 2.8 and 1,000th of a second. Okay. Let's zoom in on those and see how different they look. Right, we've set up another shot here. So we've got one of these sort of old bins that we're gonna try and make look like an incinerator. So inside, we've put a nan light and an aperture light, the little ones, and we've got those set to like an orangey yellow colour, which looks like there's a fire in the bin basically. And then we've got a micro smoke, which is a little one, and it's a white one. So we're gonna try and make it look a bit atmospheric. We've got the model sitting on some sort of wood around it, and then I've got the big nan light pavo tube coming up with another little bit of yellow light just to light the model's face a little bit. I've pushed in the Rotolight EOS 2 over here, quite bright, just because we've got so much sunlight coming in from the opening of the barn that I just need to balance that a little bit. I'm going to knock down the exposure a little bit so I've got something to play with. The only thing I'm worried about is we do have some sunlight coming in the back. We can't do anything about that, unfortunately. We've got nothing to cover it with. nothing accessible anyway. So we're just going to work with it, see how it looks. Ideally you want to shoot this in the dark, but I've only got this lens for a very, very short time, so we're just working with what we've got for now. Hopefully it'll really work. So Tom, if you're ready with the smoke, we'll start shooting. Okay, pop it in. Okay, stand up over it. We just did the bin shot to try and make it look kind of like fire coming up. And because we let the white smoke off in here, we could see that the sun had gone down really low over there, and we just had this beautiful light coming through. I don't think we'd have set it up without this shot. So we just all quickly ran over there and got the model to sit down, had all the light coming through. And as the smoke ran out, the floor here is really dusty, so we just zhuzhed up some of that dust and had that go through, and it worked an absolute treat. A 24-70mm Master is what we use constantly for shooting video. I know it's George, like his most used lens. So we're now got it on the FX3. We're gonna just set off the smoke. We're about to lose the model for the night, so we're gonna light him. We've got this. That's a legitimate expense. And then we're gonna just see what we can get using a little bit of slow-mo video. So we're now doing some product shots with some gin. So this is a really nice, beautiful bottle. We've got like lovely glass to work with. There's not too much colour going on, so it means I can play a bit with the light. I've managed to get a nice chink of light coming through this window. I've popped it on this bit of wood, and then I'm just lighting it a little bit here, so we've got a little bit coming down this side, because that was looking a bit shadowy. And then I've got the Rotalight EOS 2 just coming in quite strong from this side. So actually, altogether, the light is looking really nice. Mainly down to the sun, not because of me. But yeah, the shots are great, and I can get in really close. So this is a beautifully like detailed label. So I can just come in nice and close to that label and get a couple of shots there. But also there's some sort of kind of sawdust on the floor. So we've been muzzing that up, allowing it to go through the sunlight and getting some nice shots that way as well. And making the most of a little bit of, just the odd little bit of lens flare coming through. That's so wet. Oh my God, I wish I passed them. This is like the worst thing to be chased. It's like a child's toy. These just get progressively like dirtier. After that last smoke grenade, it's a good job that this new lens is dust and moisture resistant. We kind of expect this from the high level lenses anyway, but it's always good that Sony state it. Now the design of the lens, I've already said, is a lot smaller than the original. It's weighs about 22% less. The actual like mass of it as well, the volume that it takes up inside a bag, is 18% smaller. Which doesn't sound like a huge amount, but when you think if you're packing up a bag, if this is just a bit smaller, it allows you to pop things around it, maybe an SD card holder or, you know, your mics or whatever. So it does actually make a huge difference, even that small percentage change. Now, the lens itself does have a few cool design features. So we've got the focus ring, the zoom ring, and then behind that we've got the aperture ring. So we've got three things going on. Very easy to tell apart, I must say. You don't accidentally turn one of them. I've noticed some lenses now have these like huge zoom rings, and the focus ring's like this big, and you're just always knocking the wrong thing. So I quite like the design here. Got a couple of custom function buttons here and here. We've got the AF to MF switch, really important and really easy to use if you are shooting video and you're using the AF, because let's face it, FX3, A7S3, it's so reliable. But there's just a shot where you can't get it quite right, you can just flick that really quickly into MF, so that's nice. Back here we have an iris lock, So it means you can lock it into auto aperture or something that you can change on the camera, or you can be using that aperture ring and you can lock that out, which is nice. Round the side, we have the iris click on or off. So basically, depending if you're doing videography or photography, whatever you like, you can lock it so that this is either really, really smooth or it clicks. Now, obviously the aperture isn't completely smooth. It's not like T-stops that we're using, but it does help a bit. And it does mean you can use it because there is very little between those stops now, very little stepping. So if you do need to use it, maybe if your ND filter just broke or something, it's doable in an emergency situation. Also, round the side, we have a new switch, which is smooth to tight. Now this is for your zoom. So it's either smooth or tight, there's no variability. But smooth basically means it's really loose. Tight is a much tighter zoom. Now, I don't like that it's called smooth. I think it should be loose because smooth implies that that's the smoothest way to zoom. I actually think when it's tight, it's a lot smoother. So if you were like doing a zoom during video, I think it's a lot smoother to do it when it's tight. You have a bit more control. You don't get that jittering from your fingers, but whatever, you know what it does. So yeah, a few different design features, but all in all, I like the improvements they've made. For the type of shoots we've been doing today, you needed something super versatile. So a 24-70 was just the perfect lens. And the image quality and the speed and accuracy of the autofocus all adds up to make this an absolutely fantastic G Master from Sony. It's exactly what we'd expect from the Mark II of such an amazing lens already, the 24-70 GM Mark I. Now, if you'd like to find out more about this lens, we've got a ton of info on the website, or of course you can ask us some questions, pop them in the comments. I'd love to know what you think, so get in there, let us know how you're feeling about this new lens from Sony. But for now, a massive thank you for watching. I hope you join me again soon for some more videos from Wex Photo Video.